Heaven's California.
Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the final episode of Season 2 of the Wycombe Wanderers Career Mode Road to Glory series. And today is the Season 2 roundup episode where we have a look at the squad and their progress. We have a look at other fixtures that have been going on around the world. We have a look at our own league. And then we're going to end off having a look and delivering these end of season player awards, which will be at the end of the video and will be a slightly different format from last time around. But we're going to start off having a look at this league table. We're going to put ourselves down the bottom here so you guys can see the top of the table. So we do end up top of the table, 34 wins, 5 draws and 7 losses, 111 goals scored, 55 goals conceded, 56 goal difference, 107 points, 22 points clear from second place Oxford United, who will be joining us in the Championship next year alongside one of the 4 other teams consisting of Sheffield United, Portsmouth, Millwall or Rochdale. Portsmouth, it'd be nice to see them come back in the Premier League. That'd be really nice. Moving on down the table, the 3 relegated teams have been Blackpool, Notts County, Exeter City and Northampton. So the 2 teams that did come up and join us in the league have unfortunately gone back down. But we will have a look at the rest of the leagues then. We do know that it was confirmed that Real Madrid have won the Champions Trophy, which is really, really nice. And the player of the competition for the Champions Cup is Ronaldo. The FA Cup's player of the competition is Leicester City's Leto. Liverpool celebrate winning the FA Cup. Astro actually went ahead and got the golden boot for our league as well. But I'm not quite sure who won the Europa League. I don't know about that just yet. But we will have a look at the other leagues around the world. So we're not really interested in any of these. So starting off with the Premier League then. Chelsea actually narrowly get the league title there, narrowly from Manchester United, leading Spurs, leading City, Arsenal and Liverpool missing the top 4 this season. Could it be the same this season in real life football? We do not know, but we do have Southampton followed by Everton, West Ham, Newcastle, Leicester, the typical mid-table sides. And then it looks like 3 teams that have actually been promoted all went back down, with Leeds not managing to pick up a single win in the Premier League. But we're having a look at what the Championship does hold for us. Bournemouth and Sunderland will be moving back up to the Premier League. Bournemouth done really, really well in the Championship there. Then they'll be joined by either Aston Villa, Fulham, Huddersfield or Derby County. Not joining us in the league will be Barnsley, Charlton Athletic and Scunthorpe United. But we still have some dangerous teams in that Championship. Teams like Nottingham Forest, Middlesbrough, Reading, QPR, Hull City, Brighton even. Maybe if Fulham are still there, Huddersfield, Derby, Brentford and Aston Villa. All really dangerous teams that we need to watch out for. In League 2, Luton will be coming up to League 1 with Chesterfield and Gillingham, and either one of Coventry, Port Vale, Oldham or Colchester, with Yeovil, Morecambe, Newport and Crawley that would have been relegated. But obviously they won't be. They'll actually be just staying there because we don't have that league in the game. Moving on then to the French League, Paris Saint-Germain actually win the league by quite a considerable amount of points. 9 points there. Nice in second place, who'll be joining them in the Champions League. Then I think it's, well, it might be Monaco. I'm not too sure how it all works. They might have a playoff place there, Monaco. And then ASNL and Stade de Reims and Strasbourg look like they are dropping down. Moving on to Germany, Dortmund actually win the league this season by quite a considerable amount of points. 8 points for the computer is quite good. They'll be joined by Bayern in the league there. I think that's Leverkusen that will probably be in the Champions League with them, I would presume. through playoffs. And then we've got Ingolstadt there not doing too badly. Only 13 points, so that is quite bad actually. But moving on, we are going into Italy, and Milan have actually won the league. A very close league in Italy. 4 teams all finishing within 5 points of each other, which is very competitive for the Italian league. But Milan coming back to their old glory days and finishing top of the table. Couple of struggling teams down there, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And then on to the last of the 5 big leagues. Finally, we are moving on to the La Liga Santander. Last season, Villarreal actually won the league, but this year they are back to about their normal position, 5th, 6th place. And Real Madrid narrowly take the league title away from Barcelona, with a massive gap between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, just proving that Atletico Madrid really are the best of the rest, because they're 10 points clear of Sevilla. And then you do have the drop-off, and then you got the teams like Asuna, Granada, and Vallecano, who can't quite keep up with the big dogs in the league. But we are going to move ourselves back up to the top of the screen. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go, we're back up. Right, now, time to have a look at how our squad looks. How does our squad look? That is how the squad is looking like. We will have a look at player development and stuff in a minute. That is how the second team is looking like. We will actually make a couple of changes. We're going to take out Alab there, and we're going to bring through, what's his name, where is he, Mancini. He's actually now 65 overall, which is really, really good. And then we're also going to make sure that Freeman does get swapped for Allen there. I'm pretty sure maybe even by the start of next season, Allen will probably find his way into the team up there for Cowan Hall. But we will leave it at that for now. That is how the teams are looking. Obviously, some more youth injection will be coming into that team early on in the season. But we are now going to have a look at the top goal scorers for each, for this competition anyway. So, top goal scorers, we do finish top with Asro on 34 goals this season, so not quite as good as last season, but we did up it a difficulty, and 34 goals is still absolutely insane. And we do have another player there, Polion, actually managed to get 12, and he was a second team player with a few substitute appearances, so he actually did pretty well to get that up there, and nobody else there. So we move on to assists. We are leading that. Guidi, what an assist king, 23 assists in the league. That is absolutely insane. With Asaro picking up 12 for himself, Wolf there on 9, Kashki on 8, we've got O'Neill on 7, we've got Southwell on 7. We dominated that board. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 25 players. That's over a fifth of the players are from Wycombe Wanderers. And Guidi, you know, he's really impressed me this season, and he's definitely in the running for player of the season. Asaro, he had it last season. Will he be able to retain that? Will he have earned my trust to give him that player of the season again? You'll have to find out at the end of the episode. But we're moving on. Clean sheets. Well, no, actually, we didn't do too bad. Actually, that was Scott Brown that got 8 clean sheets. Our other goalkeeper there, Bennett, actually got 5. But I put that down to a lot of defensive errors. I don't think we're on the yellow card list, and I don't think we're on the red card list, which we're not. So that is fine. Now, last but not least, we're going to be heading over to the office. Now, we did leave ourselves. We have to finish the season. We have done that, which is good. We have to finish the season with 2.6. We've only got 2.4. So we're not going to do that. I don't understand. I think there's a glitch in this, because I'm watching another career mode YouTuber who's called Docs. He's doing a Huddersfield Town career mode series. He's on season 4, a bit ahead of us. But he did start the series. We've done, obviously, this is our second career mode. That is his first career mode, and he's doing it as a job. I'm doing it as a hobby. So he has more time to put in the videos. But he's also had, I've seen a couple of people getting this problem. We're not making the £13.2 million profit from youth player sales within 2 seasons. We sold Wilson last season. Well, we sold him this season, and he was worth that money straight away. Actually, no, we got about 10 million for him. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But we've done the brand exposure. We haven't quite done the FA Cup one. We needed to get through that third round, but we had to play Liverpool, so I'm sure the board will be they'll forgive us for that. And we did fight for promotion. We did more than fight for promotion. We did more than get promotion. We actually won the league title, the double bubble, which is really, really nice. We'll have a look at one last look at the youth academy for those who might have missed yesterday's episode, and have a look at a couple of the players that we might think about bringing. Now, ideally, I want to bring players through with an 80 overall higher right now. So players like Enrique Ojeda, he doesn't look too bad at all. He looks very good physically, and he's got a really nice potential. There could even be a potential to be special. Players like Harrison Robinson, he hasn't really been in the youth team long enough for me to know. That's a big gap between 75 and 89. I'd rather keep him in there until we know a bit more about him. We've then got Declan Harrison, who's a 51, maybe not too good on the overall. And if that overall doesn't pop up, we probably will just get rid of him because we haven't got time for rubbish youth players. The same with Brendan Bell. The same with Lewis Murphy. Bad overall. This guy, though, he's got a really good overall, and I presume his overall will go up. He's only 15. And I would bring him out anyway. Maurizio Sepulveda. He looks very, very similar to a very similar physique to Daniele Ferrari. Now, if he was higher overall than Ferrari and had a better potential, Ferrari's position in the team might be in jeopardy, so we will have to watch out for that. We have got two goalkeepers that we will probably need to bring one through. Probably this guy, Elliot Allen, 6'6", looks good enough. We could bring him through. We know Billy Collins, he's only 5'11", and to be honest, Elliot Allen is actually looking better than him right now, so we will be keeping him there. Another option that we could bring through is Alfonso Kenyo in the centre-back position. He looks very, very pacey, which is really nice for a centre-back. And he's nearly there, and he's only 15, so I presume his overall will go up. Then last but not least, we have Vicente Galliano, or Galliano. He's only 5'6", midfielder. Another small midfielder. We have an abundance of them, so I don't know if he will find his way through to the first team call-up anyway. But we'll switch it over to the first team. The first team doesn't look too bad. But we are going to be having a look at the squad hub first of all. And we're going to be having a look at the new right midfielder. We're just going to be keeping up. Approach backs to City, Wilfred de Havilland and Southall both want to go on loan deals next year. But the problem is we probably will need, well actually we have three strikers. Polion could fill in over on there. We just need a new right hand sided. No. James Sancho plays on the right. Yeah, we need another left hand sided player. But Dominic Polion, really good signing this season. But we did want to have a look at our right midfielder. There we go. Toby Allen. Potential to be special. So that has been absolutely fantastic. Stats this season then. Top goal scorer for the team, Asro. He got 40 goals, 19 assists in 44 appearances. So once again, he's smashed it this season. Then second place, Dominic Polion, 16 goals and 2 assists. Guidi there, that's nearly a goal, contributing to a goal a game for Guidi. Up 5 overall this year, hasn't really been on any training. So that's fine. 15 goals, 25 assists in 44 appearances in every competition. Really, really good. James Sancho picks himself up 10 goals, 4 assists in 36 appearances. He did alright, Sancho. He did go up quite a few overall as well. So he's put a mark on the team, definitely. Then Kashkit gets 10 assists and 10 goals. He might stay in the first team next season. We might get someone a little higher overall in that left wing position. Then he can drop to the second team. Hans Wolf also picked himself up 10 goals and 11 assists. Another really good signing for the team, really, Hans Wolf. For someone who hasn't really had too much first team football, he's played alright. Then we just have the jobbers here. Luke O'Neill, he's done alright for himself. Then Cowan Hall, Southwell, Xavione, Ricci, Harris, Gape, Freeman, all these players here picking up a goal. We can also have a look at the player with the most appearances. which was actually Scott Kashka. He did make 46 appearances. Polion makes 45 appearances. He played a lot of League One games. Joe Jacobson then on the left-hand side made quite a few appearances. Was there any player that didn't make any appearances at all? There was. Marcus Bean and Yves Makalambe, both players not picking up any assists, not even any goals, any clean sheets, because they didn't make any appearances. We just didn't use them. Marcus Bean obviously retiring this season, so we won't be using him next season. Topping the assist sheet, we do have Gawidi there, then Asaro, then Wolf, and all of that. And then clean sheets, obviously, we haven't checked clean sheets in all competition. So let's actually switch it to goalkeeper. So Scott Brown actually managed to get 10 clean sheets, 2 in the Invitational Cup, and 8 in League One. And then Bennett managed to get 5 in League One and 4 in the Checker Trade Trophy. We actually did really well in the Checker Trade Trophy. And Bennett, we have mass trained him this season to get him up to that overall, because we do in fact know that he is an exciting prospect. So he's going to be the high 80s for a keeper. That is absolutely fantastic. But the last thing we do have to look at here before we actually end the episode is our attributes. Who has had the most overall change? And that is Isaac Harris. He's actually gone up 16. Remember the start of the season he started at 47 overall. Maybe I mass trained him a little bit too much for his actual overall. I probably wouldn't bring out someone like that again in the team. But for a defensive midfielder, his defending stats are worryingly worse than his offensive stats, which is a little bit worrying. But Mancini goes up massive 15. These are players that we have been training. Bennett goes up 13. Harris goes up 10. Ferrari's actually gone up 7, but we have been training him. The players we haven't really been training are these ones here. Ricci, Jackson's gone up a 5, although we did train him for a while. Guidi up 5, Wolf up 3, Southwell up 2, Polion up 2, Asaro up 2, Cashgit 2, Gate 2, O'Nien 2, 2 for Chavione, Freeman, Allen, Muller, then up 1 for de Havilland, Stewart, Harriman, staying the same for Cowanhall, Makalambe, and then going down is Joe Jacobson, Jim Batty, Scott Brown, who will be leaving the club, and Marcus Bean, who will be leaving the club, and El Abd, who will also be leaving the club as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to progress through to the end of the season. I will start up the next season, but you guys obviously won't see any of the figures or stuff before next episode, which will be tomorrow. There won't be any break or anything, so don't worry about that. Actually, we should actually have a look at the value of some of our players. How do we do that? Financial, is it? Here we go. Yeah, so the value of our players. Let's have a look. The player who's worth the most is Davide Guidi. He's worth £12 million now. Sancho we could probably get quite a few for him. Now, performance bonuses, that's probably where some of our money has gone. Joel Asaro there, he's worth £5 million. So we've got quite a few players here who are worth quite a lot of money. The player who's worth the least is Marcus Bean. Our youth players worth the amount of money. The least amount one is worth is £575,000. So that is quite good. So what we're going to do, we're going to sim up to the end of the season. I'll start the next season. You guys won't see that. But we to end off the episode, once we've got to the end of the season, we will obviously be going in and having a look at these end of season rewards. I'm going to be doing it a little differently this time around, and I probably won't be sat in this chair either. So you will have to no, I won't be sat in this chair. I'll probably be downstairs in my usual recording space. So we will sim the rest of this season and get into the end of season awards for our brilliant, fantastic Wycombe Wanderers players. Another training session then. Mancini, Jackson, Ferrari and Sancho are on the training drills. I don't know how hard you want to get Mancini. I mean, we are going to be having another centre-back who is going to be in the 70s. So maybe we should take Mancini. If we can get him for the same overall about Stewart, is that 66, 67, 68 border, I think he'll be fine for that second team role next season. When we had him in the team, he did play really well. So we have got another thing here. They keep saying us Alab's contract is retiring. He's just too old, getting too slow, and he hasn't even got the height to help him. So he's just not going to help us in the team one bit here. But we have got some more player development. Mancini, Jackson, Ferrari, and Sancho. We're trying to build Sancho's stamina up, really. That's the only reason he's on the training. Mancini goes up to that 66. If we can get our defenders up in our defensive stats, and that is a lot better. We have to look at Jackson's defensive stats there. He's doing a lot better there. He can maybe even come off training soon. At the end of the season. We'll probably train him until the end of the season. Until this Sunday training regime here. If it lets us do training here. I'm not sure if it will. No, I don't think it will actually. Oh no, it does. Okay. So we'll do our final player training session of the season. Can we get Jackson up to that 76? Can Sancho eventually get his stamina nearer to 55? We're going to find out. And they've all bottled it. Brilliant. But look at the defensive stats. We've been working on them defensively. And the defensive training has inevitably worked. Now, next season, what we're going to need? Well, I'm going to leave that one up to you guys to let me know. I have said what position we need, and you guys have said we need another defender in the team. And I personally do agree with that. We need another left back to go in where Jacobson is going. We don't really have any options there at this moment in time, so we are going to get someone new there. We do have the other left back who may even be competing with Jacobson to get into that second team. But we'll end the season here. They're delighted to have us stay at the club next season, meaning we will have a season 3 of the Wycombe Wanderers Career Mode series. Before we end this season though, let's get into these end of season player rewards. Okay then guys, so we are here and it is the final segment of season 2 of the Wycombe Wanderers Career Mode series. We are going to be doing only the 3 awards. I had a look at the poll, and you know, you can't have a fair, just vote when only one person has voted. So that award for this season has been made void. I can, however, tell you that the player that would have got the reward would have been Marcus Bean, and again, that does feel a little bit unjust, as you guys didn't even see him play a single minute of the season. Now, some people might have been a little bit confused with what the award was for. Some people, I can only say, might have been either using it as a troll, or someone might have been thinking, who's the player of the season so far from that list for Wycombe Wanderers this season, as in the season of football we're in, not the Wycombe Wanderers career mode player of the season. So we are going to be starting off with our first award, and certainly not the most, not the least important. It's a very important award. You know, as a small team, we will have to be relying on the youth players a lot, because I had a look at our budget just after, well, just before I'm recording this piece of segment, and our budget is not as big as I thought it was going to be. So we will definitely be having to rely on the youth players a lot more this season. And we'll probably be only able to afford to bring in the 1 or 2 players, honestly. I don't even know if we're going to be able to afford to bring in a left back. It isn't looking likely. I'm going to be honest, guys. It's not looking very likely at all that we're going to be able to bring in that left back and a left winger, which we wanted to do. You know, we could bring in a free transfer if there's one on the market. That is always an option. But we will have to wait and see for that. But starting off, youth player of the season. Who is it going to be? Well, we had a couple of youth players come through. Let's see. We had Mancini. We had Allen, but he only came through at the dying embers of the season. We had Bennett. We had the Isaac. We had Ginger Ninja Isaac and the other Isaac. And for youth players, that was about it. That's all we really injected into this team this season. And there was one man that stuck up that really did stuck out from the rest of them. It is the only man that managed to break into the first team this season. It is indeed Toby Bennett. There we go. Had 34 appearances this year, 9 clean sheets. And the clean sheets for me wasn't pivotal to why I chose him for this role. The reason I chose him for this role was because he came in and he has made some fantastic saves in that goalkeeper position. And our defence has been shaky for a lot of the season, and our defence has let a lot of balls run through. And, you know, a goalkeeper can't save every one-on-one situation, but shots that he should be stopping, he has made a very good go in that first team. And, you know, he will succeed next season, I'm hoping. But moving on to the next reward then, signing of the season. Now, this year we had a couple of signings. We had Dominic Polion, we had Hans Wolf, we had Xavione, and Sancho, of course. So 4 signings last season we got to do because of the sale of that right-winged player that we did sell. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to do that again this season because the team is too good. The team is working really, really well. And, you know, we could inject most of our money into that. I mean, the board want us to obviously finish with a certain amount of money each season. That is inevitable. So I haven't actually looked at that yet. And if I have, I can't remember how much they want us to say. But we have got the pre-season tournament as well. We can get some money from that. But signing of the season has gone narrowly. It was a very hard decision, but I have given it to Dominic Polion, our left wing / striker. He made so many appearances this season, and for a player that, you know, most games has only been playing 10, 15 minutes, you know, he's made a lot of appearances for the team. You know, he has been very impressive, Dominic Polion, and there have been games where we've brought Polion on and he's made the difference. That one goal has made the difference. You know, the other players have been first-team footballers. None of them have really stuck out to me. Xavione, yeah, he's really solidified that centre midfield role. Sancho, you know, he's been a little bit poor on the fitness side, so he hasn't really had too many full games where he can show, well, excuse me, what he can do on the ball. And as well as Hans Wolf, he hasn't really had the first-team football to show that he's been good. But for me, Polion had to get it. Just what he's brought to the team and what he will bring to the team next season as well has been fantastic. So a round of applause to Dominic Polion for getting that. But now, on to our final reward of the season, the Player of the Season reward. Now, who are we going to give this to? I had so many players in mind for my shortlist. I'll name through a few now. We had, obviously, Joel Asaro. He's been absolutely amazing this season once again. On fire with the goals. Hoping he can get maybe a triple golden boot reward in the Championship. It will be tougher for him. The Championship is a big step up from League One. So it will be tough. Then we had Davide Guidi. Guidi was there. You know, we saw from his goals and assists, 23 assists in the league. It's an insane amount of assists. He's been so good as a playmaker. Really coming to his own in the second half of the season as well, with scoring goals. And that is why he was in the shortlist. We had Xavione, who was in the running. Actually, I thought he was really, really good in centre midfield, but he was one of the lesser options. He probably wouldn't have been there, but his name deserves to be on that list. Luco Nien, he has been really, really good this season. Had a bit of an injury setback for 3 weeks, which might have skewed the results a little bit. But, you know, just playing with him in midfield, when we haven't had him in the team, there is a gap, and it has been, you can notice the gap is there. Also, Kashkit, he needs to be in the running. He's been not as good as last year, but he's still been up there with the top players. Ferrari, he's been there on the right back. He's been so solid on that right back position. We again had Jackson. He's been, again, a bit of an iffier start to the season, but on the end of the season when we had him on that training, he had been a very good addition. There's been so many good players in the team, but we can only give the Player of the Season to one man. And it came between two. It was Guidi and Asaro, and for me, the winner had to be, from playing with the team for all this time, Davide Guidi. Now, Asaro, so nearly, I was so tempted to go with Asaro, but there have been times this season with Asaro where he has been a little bit quiet, and he hasn't got, my phone's beeping, stop. He hasn't been the clinical striker we need. The clinicalness hasn't been there. He could have maybe hit 40 goals if he'd just been that little bit more clinical. But I felt player of the season, you know, for a player that's had such good improvement, he's had a +5 in his overall. You know, 44 appearances, 15 goals, 25 assists. That's nearly involved in a goal in every appearance he's been in. Only 4 appearances short of that. So, you know, Davide Guidi, I'm expecting big things from him this year. Without any training at all, he's gone up 5 overall. If he could do that again next season, then we're looking at him going to be, what, 18, 19 years old and 80 rated. That is just insane. He'll be an 80 rated attacking midfielder going into the Premier League. I think he'll do really, really well. I think he'd do well in the Premier League as it is right now. But, yeah, that is going to be it for Season 2. I'm really looking forward to Season 3. We've got some amazing youth players we can bring through. Maybe have a look at taking some players and putting them out on loan. Although, I don't know about that just yet. There are some players that we probably won't use for this season, and we will maybe put them on the loan list. It might be better for them going on loan rather than sitting at the club doing nothing. We'll obviously have a look at maybe if people haven't signed any free transfers, having a look on that free transfer list, seeing if there's anyone there, because we're not going to have the money. We are going to invest in a better youth scout. And the better youth scout, you know, last year we had the money to get that really good youth scout. This time around, maybe not so much. We are going to have to look at definitely bringing up a couple of youth players into the team and maybe pushing out some players. You know, our club captain is going to be demoted, so we will need to assign a new one of them. If you guys do have any suggestions, then do leave them down below. But that is going to call it for this one then, guys. If you have enjoyed this season and this episode of Wycombe Wanderers Career Mode Road to Glory series, remember to leave a like. Keep up the support. Season 3 is on its way tomorrow. We're in the Championship. We're hoping we can have a good FA Cup run, competing with them teams in the Premier League now. Maybe a good Carabao Cup run. We don't have the Checker Trade Trophy anymore. That's less fixtures to worry about. You know, we have got a really good team on our hands here. And if we can, we'll push for that title. We're going for it. That is the league objective for me. Get that title won. And then we'll go into the Premier League with a really, really good chance of fighting with them top teams. And maybe getting into the Premier League, into the top European, or maybe even a European competition. The first year in the Premier League, that'd be fantastic. But that's the future. We got to focus on the Championship. We got to focus on getting up to the Premier League, fighting with them top Championship teams, and, you know, progressing our players on, getting some youth players in, getting them some first team football. That left back, the Spanish guy, I think we might get him in straight away. Honestly, I think we might just put him in because he looks really, really good there. And, you know, we won't be able to afford one for the second team, for the first team with our money. It looks like with you know, I'm always going to be one to focus youth and, you know, put investment into youth rather than buy a load of expensive players that have a really good potential, but these guys are just going to start a little further down the line, a bit of extra training. We know how good mass training can be. Bennett by October was already like a 75 over, or 70 overall, so we know how good training can be with first team football. He'll be ready. And we'll hopefully have a really good season next year. So as I said, leave a comment down below. Who should we be signing? We're mainly looking at maybe that left winger position and the left back position. Leave a like on the series if you are enjoying so far. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn the notifications on. Share the video. Let's get people coming over, watching the series. You know, this is a daily series. Make sure if you have any friends that are looking for a daily FIFA 18 content, tell them to come over to this channel. I will keep delivering with this content as long as I can. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. I'm looking forward to Season 3. Hopefully you guys are as well. And I'll catch you in the next video. Goodbye.